So there's not anyone, there's no one inside, there's nothing happening. This is all there is. This is what is happening. It's a hand, it's the table, and it's happening to no one. No one. And that's so strange because normally we're used to that there's someone inside. We are so sure about that. There's someone inside, and everything is happening to me, like thoughts, feelings, circumstances. It's my life. I have to work on things in my life because there's something missing. There's something not right yet. There's something not good enough. So that's a really strong belief. It doesn't feel maybe as a belief, but that so, can be so strong. And there's something going on, like a drive to make it right. And there are a lot of can be a lot of thoughts about what's not right, and I should change that, or maybe about yourself, or about circumstances, or there's so many things. It jumps on anything. There's already no one, so there's no my life. There is already no one, and that's the freedom. Nothing is happening to you. It's what apparently is happening. Nothing is real. That's another one. We sing like when there's me and I'm living my life and everything seems real, like my life, what's happening to me, my thoughts, feelings feel as real and happening to me. Thoughts can happen and they have a meaning. They seems like that. And hearing there's no one, that's, you can't even imagine. That's so, there can be an idea, but most ideas are not it. You can't make it like that. You can't say to yourself, oh, there's no me, so everything is what's happening. That's a new concept about what being heard. And then it's the same story again about beliefs and concepts and how to behave in that concept or in that world. This has nothing to do with behaving. There's no behaving. There's what is happening. There's no one. So there's also no behaving. There's no right and wrong. This is a complete other possibility. Has nothing to do with the story. When there's no one and nothing is real, circumstances are chuk like that, chuk like that, chuk like that. It's that. It's not happening to someone. It's just that circumstances. A wall, a street, a garden, an office, maybe. I don't know. Anything. It's not happening. It's an apparent happening. It's not happening to you. There is no you. It's just an appearance of what is. Walling, street, body, all that. And there's no time. There's no distance. That's only in the story of me. There's the abstracting and believing there's time before and after, and there's distance here and there, over there. It's the ability of brain, you could say, in the story, that there's being able to see there's here and there, and then there seems, because there's a feeling of I'm here and you are there, or there's an over there, and there's that feeling of there's something not right that's coloring everything. So there's a drive to have a good life, something like that, because there's something missing, not fulfilled. It's not a feeling of fulfillment, or it's not enough. Something most people are, it's not enough. It should be maybe like it, and maybe for a while it's that, and then it's jumping on something else, and it's again, it's not enough. The story is endless. And then there's hearing there's already no one. There is already no one. It's not happening to you. When there's also no distance, there's also no reason. There's not has nothing to do with this is happening because of that. That whole story is made in time and distance. So there's because, there's before and after, there's why, there's meaning. That seems so the normal way and how we deal with things. And we have to deal with that. And how can I deal with this and all that? There's no one. There's no one to deal with anything. It's what is happening, but it's not happening to you. It's an appearance of street, wood, trees, whatever, without any meaning. It's what it is. It's very, very simple, and it's already what's going on. It's already. It's the only thing there is. And there can be a story with that and trying to work it out because you think it's happening to me and there's circumstances and, oh, I have to deal with that and what's going on and all that. It's a dream. It's a lot of ideas and thoughts about what's happening, but it's not happening to someone. There's only thoughting. There's no one already. So this is so simple. It's not about how to behave. There's no right and wrong. It's what it is. A hand, sound. Even also in these meetings, it doesn't go anywhere. There's no time. This doesn't go anywhere. There's nothing happening. It's an appearance of that face and talking, and it doesn't mean anything. So there's nothing important. Nothing is more important than anything else, of course, but it's also not serious. Nothing is serious or important. It doesn't matter. It's not like, oh, then they're saying like, oh, I can say to myself, it doesn't matter, there's nothing happening. Because that's me. I am talking to myself, believing I am here and I have a life, and I can say to myself like, oh, there's nothing happening and all that. That's a new concept, a new belief can be there. Trying to behave in a certain way, trying to deal with circumstances or feelings that you don't like so much most of the time. This is about everything. So there's also when life is, then there's everything. So this is not about moving away from pain and feeling more comfortable or more happy. It's everything. So there's also pain or sadness or walls. There's no difference. Can be sadness. We are so focused on ourselves and what's happening in me or in my life, what seems to be my life and all that. Being busy with it, trying to work it out and deal with it. There's already no one, so there's sitting, wall, feelings, sadness, pain, tea, cup of tea. It's everywhere. It's not something, it's everything. So it can be light, it can be sitting. It's not, this is not about you. Life is not about you or me. It is. It has nothing to do. That life doesn't see you. There is no one. So it's what is happening. A tennis racket. I don't know. It's everything. It doesn't matter what it is. And nothing is more important than anything else. It's what it is already. That's life. That's aliveness in everything, in everything that is it already. And we can talk about that. I mean, there can be talking in the story about maybe there's an understanding. It doesn't matter if there's an understanding. It doesn't matter if there are questions or no questions, if there's silence or a lot of talking. It's the same. There's nothing more important or better than anything else. That's the freedom. It's everything already. And it doesn't matter what it is. But it's very simple and ordinary and normal, like walking, sitting, a wall, straight, body. Doesn't go anywhere, doesn't mean anything. It's what it is, that's it. Like a little, really little children, that's very simple and ordinary. So we can talk about that, and maybe there are questions, maybe there's a sharing or something to say. And it doesn't matter. When there's a lot of things going on in the story, then maybe there are questions about that. It doesn't matter if there's non-duality of a duality or anything. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing right either. So there can't be wrong or silly questions or talking. It's already that what is going on. So that when there's a question about anything, whatever, then that's what's happening. It's that question. It's not you asking a question, it's just that question. There's no Rose answering, it's what is happening. This is not about knowing everything or a wisdom or something. Everything is lost. That it's completely something else. We're so used that we go somewhere and we have to maybe understand, or it's about clarity or about what finally this wisdom. And hearing it's about loss in the story, of course. That's strange because we are not used to that. It's the loss of everything, the loss of all beliefs, like knowing also. There's no knowing. There's there can be clarity, but doesn't need to. It's a glass of water already. So there's no need for anything else than what is happening. It's not you that has to be clear. There is already no you. So it doesn't matter what's going on. There can be frustration, but that sensation, that feeling of frustration, is it. That's already it. It's so close. It's not even close. It's already. So when there's something to say or maybe nothing, it doesn't matter. And we'll see what's happening.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, hello.
Hi. That phrase, to die before you die. Have you heard of that phrase?
Mm, I can
Um,
understand what you mean. Yeah.
yeah. Is it, when you were talking, I was thinking um, this sense of when you physically die, that these things that seem so important, the thoughts, the feelings, the stories are dying, and then there's probably just nothing. I don't know. But anyway, I was just comparing that to you. Is that that's the sense I'm having now? Is
But it's already death. In
yeah.
that way, there's no one alive. There's no birth or death. There can be that physical body doesn't move. That's called death in the story. But there's no story about, yeah, we have stories about it, but
Mm-hmm.
it's already no one. So that, but in the story, when there's a feeling I am here, then there's a fear of that because that seems so important and alive, and everything is more solid and real. So it seems like there's really something going on in relations with people or circumstance. So then when there's talking about death, that seems like, oh my God. But
Yeah.
even in
Oh.
also in the when everything is lost, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like, because that's so we're so like that identity seems so important, and we have a life and doing things. And when that's lost, it's more like whoop, and everything goes on. That whole story about we were so busy with everything and what's going on and all that. When
Yeah.
that isn't happening or isn't arising is not even the right word, but even if that's not, it's not even noticed because the awareness also is not there. So it's very simple and normal.
Yeah, I just relate it to this experience. Say yesterday, here it was Thanksgiving in the US,
Mm.
and often during holidays, there's a lot of, people want things to go a certain way, and I don't like gathering. I don't like big gatherings. So I went along with all these things that I didn't really want to do. But so by the end of the day, I'm just caught up in all this, like,
Right.
and but then when I woke up, I was like, oh, it's all gone. I don't. It doesn't matter.
Did it really happen?
It's
You can
like
ask
popping out of
yourself
it.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it seems so important when you're in it
yeah,
and busy with it, and then suddenly, waff, huh? Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, that's it.
yeah.
And
Just
then it jumps on.
constantly
Oh,
popping
sorry.
out of that.
Yeah, and
Good.
it jumps on something else that seems like, oh, but this is not right, and then waff, we're busy with that or something. I don't want that or something like that. It finds always something somewhere strange. Yeah, it's amazing how strong that. It's like a clever energy or something. It's like jumping on, this is not right or not enough. I don't want this. I don't like this, and all that is so many things, feelings. Mm.
And does that end at some point then? This
No, the
feeling of
feelings, everything. No, the feelings and pain and everything. It just goes on. But there's
Mhm.
no one, so it's not. There's nothing to deal with. It's already like that. Then there's a feeling. It's just that feeling. But there's no reason. There's no why. There's nothing because of something, what we normally think. That seems so obvious. It's that feeling. And then after a while, maybe crying or can be anything. And then after a while, it's gone. There's nothing to do with the story or with circumstances. And that's so
Mm.
it's so, how do you say it? Like it can be so strong and convincing. It's not. It's crazy that it's not. We are so like when somebody is dying, maybe like that, and there's a crying, then it's because of that. And we are so convinced in that. And then hearing that the crying is only crying. There's no reason. It's full on crying, can be. And that has nothing has to do with circumstance. It's not someone crying because there's crying. And that circumstance is changing and then there's something else. That's amazing. That's the freedom also. But that's not different as before. The only thing of before like that, it's the only thing. What different is that the whole story with what came with that, what's a lot of times that's the suffering, is not there. But the pain or the crying or the table, it's not only about. It's not only about our lives. That's so when there's me, everything is about my life. There's being busy with my life and how to deal with this or that, and not even seeing or no, it's not about seeing, but no, it's everything. So it's also the table. That's aliveness. It's sitting. It's the wall. It's like it's everything. And we are like, yeah, but I feel like this and all that. But it's the table. It's already that. That's the aliveness. Or the wall, walling. It's already that. It's not when we are so focused on the story of what's going on and we're busy and but it's a dream. It's a whole dream of ideas and concepts. And that's lost. So it didn't go anywhere. So in that way, nothing is lost. Is that footstep, that sensation of a bare foot in the sand, that sensation, is it? It's the water, it's the wind, it's a cloud, it's sitting, it's the street, it's a sound, it's a smell, it's everything, it's everywhere, everywhere. Already, it's not about you, it's everywhere. And normally, when we're looking at it, it seems like, yeah, is that a cup of tea? What is that? So we look at it, and there seems to be a distance, and that's the longing. That there's that distance that seems to frustration of. There's always a distance to something. I am looking to that glass, and I am looking at the wall, and I'm looking at something else, or I smell this, or I have those thoughts. So there's always a distance, and that seems to be somewhere, something, there's something missing, there's something not right. It seems like, what's going, and that's not satisfying. And suddenly there can be some people have some glimpses, or then suddenly that I isn't there. And then there's only that glass of water. There's no one seeing it. It's that glass, and ah, that's it. But it's the same glass of water in that way, but there's no one looking. And that's stunning, because then suddenly it's alive and there's nothing going on like dissatisfaction or something missing, because that's full on. But there seems to be, and that's what people think, like, oh, so I have to lose the me or things like that. There's already no me. It's only a construct, but so convincing, and a belief which can be so strong, which is energetic. So the idea of that feeling that there's distance, there's nothing wrong with that, but then that's what's happening. But there can be a dissatisfaction or frustration about that. Well, also that is what is happening already. So it's not about a nice, and that's what we normally think, that it should be good or feeling relaxed or nice or comfortable, safe, and all that. Life is everything. So it's any feeling can be there. It's not your feeling, it's tension, maybe, a smell. This is being in love. It's unconditional love. Walling, teeing, sadness. It can be everything. And life doesn't feel like, life isn't thinking like, oh, this is wrong and this is right and this is awful and this is nice. There, it's neutral. It's everything without meaning. So there's nothing right or awful or nice or all that. That's on top of that. There's looking and there's a feeling of, oh, I like this, I don't like this. This is good for me, this is not, and all that. That makes a story about what seems to be the best way for me because I need this and I have a feeling of this is right for me and all that. It's a story. It's an endless story, a never ending story. It's never enough. There's always something which isn't right, which can be focused on. There is no one. There is no life for someone. It's life happening. Apparently, it's an appearance of all circumstances, feelings. Everything is an appearance. Doesn't mean it doesn't feel. The feeling of pain is woof, like pain. In the same time, nothing is happening. Nothing is real. This is unconditional love. There are no conditions. It's everything. There's nothing better than something else. It's everything already. That's life already. A flower. Thanks. And it's so simple. It's so ordinary. Is that what already is happening? So there's nowhere to go. It's already unconditional love. Everything is that already. And when there's an idea, I'm separate, I'm in this body, and I have a life, and I have to make that separation. That's the dream of me, which is a misunderstanding. But it's so embodied. There's so many ideas and beliefs can be there. Like I am here, and this is my life, and I have to do this, or I did something wrong, or maybe I don't feel good. There's no one. There's already no one. No one inside. There's no inside. There's also no outside. So this is everything. There's also no inside. It's what it is, a hand. It's so simple and ordinary. It's the only thing there is. But it's not to you, happening to you. It's what is happening. This meeting also doesn't go anywhere, doesn't give anything. There can be maybe an idea that maybe there will be an understanding or more clarity. Can be. That also doesn't go anywhere. Doesn't matter if there's clarity or understanding. It's already complete. That's the joy, that's the aliveness, that's the unconditional love. It's already complete. It's exactly how it is. That face, that sitting, that table, it's everything as it is, already complete. Complete as it is. So there's nowhere to go. It doesn't mean there will not be questions. Then there are questions. That's also complete. Rose, there's a question. Oh yeah, yeah. How the body is an empty appearance. How can I say? It's the body is an appearance, and everything is empty. There's nothing real. How can you tell? It's everything is an appearance. So there's nothing happening. It's empty and it's full together. So it's empty. Everything is empty. The body, and it's full on also. Also feelings like pain or something. It's empty, but it's full on also. How can you explain that? It's just it. It's impossible to explain. Maybe there's an understanding, but it's not really because it has nothing to do with understanding. Suddenly, it's very like, oh, this is empty. It's empty and it's full together. Wow, that's amazing. How can I say that to somebody? I those words are just words, so that doesn't mean anything. Just words. Like we have an idea about empty, we have an idea about full. Well, you can't say how it is. I can't. No. Everything is empty, not only the body. But the body is strange because then what I remember is that everything was already like, oh, yeah, the circumstances and wall and street that can be there's something going on. It's not real. I could understand that, but the body, I never imagined that the body could be not real, or could be an appearance and even empty. Like it was like the body is always there. I'm always there, so the body is always there. And then suddenly there was a glimpse, and then there was nobody. That was like, and there was something seeing everything of not seeing. It's not even seeing, but how can you say? It was everything, but the body wasn't there. So, huh? That was a shock. I never imagined that that could be like that. I never heard that it could be like that. So even the body is an appearance. There's nothing real. It's no big deal. Everything goes on. It was already like that. There can be a belief like the body is real and everything is real. Well, that's on top of what's going on. And when that's lost, everything goes on the same way. Well, it's very obvious. It doesn't mean anything. That's, in a way, you could say that's the freedom because nothing is important. But in another way, there's nothing happening. There's nothing change. There's no change. It was already like that. There were only a lot of ideas about how it would be, and that was the misunderstanding. That was lost. Before I forget, it's tomorrow. I'm giving a live meeting in Holland, so there will be no Zoom tomorrow on the Saturday. Also, about the body, we have an idea that everything is always there, and the brain or something that fills in the gaps. So it seems like it's a continuation and it's always there. And also with feelings, I'm feeling so depressed, and that feeling all day is not all day. There's moments there's nothing going on, and there's no nothing thinking about anything, so there's no feeling. And then it's maybe it's there, and then it seems like, oh, it's whole day, because there's an idea of continuation and always. There is no always, and there is no continuation because there's no time. There's this, and this is new, and this. There's no before. There's only this, that feeling.
Hey, Rose.
Hey, hello.
Hi. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so now, again, I know this is in the story, and that's not really why I come to these meetings, but the question is here. So I have someone who I lent money, and they're supposed to pay me back, and then someone else in my life is saying, if I worry about it too much, then they won't pay me. And is that true? Is it true that energetically, like you can affect actions just by how you feel about them?
No, of course not. There's no one. No. Oh my God. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's so many ideas about how you should behave so you will be happy again in the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No.
So it's all gonna be okay or how I want it.
No, it's not okay. It's what it is. So there can be like anger or like frustration or doesn't pay me back. I can't do anything. Or maybe, I don't know, that anything.
Right.
There can be all kind of can be all kind of circumstances, and it seems like those how do you say that? Those make me feel in a certain way. It has nothing to do with that. It's just circumstance, like this circumstance, and then that, and then that. And there's a whole story with that, and making it like, oh, what? How can I deal with it, and all that. So there's nothing happening. So there's that feeling, and that's it. There's nothing before. There's no time. Oh, that's so crazy because we're so living in time and distance. Like there's a relation and there's happening something, and how can I deal with that? Because there's he's not paying me and all that. Doesn't mean there cannot be plans, or there can be like, oh, there seems to be a decision to call or to do or anything. But that's what's happening. It's not someone doing that, you doing that. It's just what arises, what's coming, and then like that. And
Yeah.
then that's it. So there's no right and wrong in that way. There can be feelings, of course.
So if it's new and fresh, that
Mm.
means that it's not dependent on what happened before.
Yeah, yeah. There's no time, so there is no before. It's even that. There's nothing before. That's amazing. That's new. That's the newness. There's nothing. It's new. Like woof. Doesn't mean it's like fresh, like a green leaf or something like that. It's like it's new. It's just normal new in that way. It's not because it's never happened. Nothing happened before. So that circumstance or that feeling or everything is new. That's the innocence.
And so it's just transforming.
Transforming. No, that's in time. It's just new. You can't say it transforming because that's a continuation. Seems for me like continuation.
Yeah.
It's new. It's and and yeah. How can you say it's so everything is so every word is and every movement is so in time. So how can you tell it's new? Yeah,
No, you can't, I don't think. I don't think it's possible
yeah.
to say that.
There can be a sense or something like there's some recognition or something that what's being said here can be.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking out the window, there's snow falling and it's beautiful, and it
Yeah,
just seems like, there's no way that me who thinks in time can understand this,
yeah, yeah.
because it's just
It's
it's
just
just
why should you? It's just that snow. Cool.
yeah. Yeah.
Go on. That's it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Wow, wow. I thank you.
Thank you. Mm.
Hey, Rose.
Hi. Hello.
Yeah. Hi. I was just going to say that it certainly does feel like you can do certain things or certain things affect certain things, right? Like for the person, like, if I do this, my boss won't like me and he'll fire me. But really, it's always like even that always contradicts itself because how many times do we see people that do nothing and they get the best praise and you think I'm doing everything, but
Yeah.
so it like
Yeah.
contradicts itself and it plays such a game because everything seems to like confirm it, but at the same time you're like, wait, that doesn't make sense either,
Yeah.
you know? Because
Yeah.
I used to also I had like an incident like a few months ago and I was like, is this person going to give me back the money? Maybe I should do something and that will affect it. It's so funny because
Yeah.
you feel like you
Well, the same.
can.
The same. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
God.
Ah. Yeah. Yeah. You want that because you
Yes.
want to be able to do. Because
Yes.
of
You're like, I'm so
course.
smart. I'm so
Ah.
smart.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
funny too because like now all the things that like you see around, they're like, well, you could just pretend to act this way and then you're going to get the outcome, but I'm like, I think you smell like something that doesn't give you that outcome that you want. I don't think
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah. And sometimes it does. So it seems also even
right,
confirming. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
right. It's a very
Yeah.
tricky, it's tricky.
Mm.
But it is
Yeah.
very interesting that it feels like that, and like it does and it doesn't, like that's what's happening here, at least, that it does and it doesn't, and it's so
Yeah. And
oh
then and when it's not that strong anymore, like it's like their belief can be so like there's no other thing than I have control, I can do. And suddenly there's a seeing around. Like look at around, it's not logic. It's even just looking around, it's already like, oh, it's not. Oh my God, it's not. And that you don't want to hear that, but suddenly it comes in like, oh God, you can't even not see it anymore, and that can be stronger also in this kind of meetings, like, oh God, yeah, somewhere it rings a bell, but oh my, yeah, you don't want it in a way sometimes. Yeah,
yeah, it's like you don't and you do,
they
you do
do.
and you don't. Yeah,
Mm,
it's both, like
yeah.
it's really both.
Mm,
Yeah. Oh, so it's like
yeah.
sometimes it's so liberating and sometimes it's so frustrating,
Yeah.
because like sometimes I want to argue and then something goes in and goes, well, what do you do, what's the point, and I can't do it anymore, and it's very frustrating for me because I want to
Ah.
argue.
You get used to it also. Because there's nowhere to go, and that's also, it has kind of something else too, like, yeah, there can be like, ah, that, because you're used to that, and then when it falls away, it's not that strong anymore, it falls away, it's like you don't even think about it anymore, so in that way there's nothing lost. Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking with someone I think last week, and in the middle of us discussing this, I completely lost interest, and I was like, you know what, whatever, and I just walked away. And my friend's like, what was that? I'm like, I don't know. I thought it was so important.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
gone in a second. I'm like, I don't know why we were even doing that.
Oh my God, yeah, yeah, wow.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
you
Even that, the loss is also in no control, because we think, yeah, oh, we don't do I don't do that anymore. I hear people say, you can't. It's just,
yeah,
or it is, or it isn't. It doesn't matter also. Or there's a lot of arguing. So what? Then that's going on. That doesn't matter. Or there's a loss of interest. It's both. Doesn't matter. But it seems like it's really important. Can be arguing. Why not? Yeah.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Mm. Everything goes on, but in a funny way, it's empty. So they can be arguing, but it's not really important. It's not really important, but they can be arguing and have an opinion about something, just not really like there's an opinion about someone or something. Well, it's not really important, but there can be. And then there's an arguing, and then it's gone like that. So, yeah, why not? We think that all circumstances seem so real and solid and really happening, and there's a continuation, and I should react or should do something with that and all that. It's already gone. There's already this room. Where's that situation? There's nothing going on. There's no story. There's nothing. There's that sitting, and that's everything. So hearing that the whole story is just a dream, it's amazing, because that circumstance, it seems so real and it's happening and it still goes on and I'm busy with that. It's a dream. It's amazing. Mm. It's so simple and ordinary. Sitting, the wall. It's that simple. Mm. Yeah. 'Cause it's so convincing, that story, and that's real, and that's really happening, and I feel it and all that. Yeah, also. And there can be so many issues, like mothers and fathers, like money, like relations and all that. And then that feeling, that feeling that I'm not good enough. There's something going on. This is going wrong. This is not right. I don't feel nice. There's a drive to something. It's not complete. I feel not satisfied, and all that. That jumps on something in the story, like a parent or the father of the mother, or that situation of the office, or all that. And it seems like really it's about that, and there's a relation between that situation and me and what's going on, and that feeling seems to be related. And then hearing there are no relations, it's like, how is that possible? Because it feels so real and so happening, to me and in my story. Yeah. Mm.
Hi, Rose.
Hey,
Do you suggest meditation of any kind?
I don't suggest anything.
Mm-hmm.
There can happen meditation, but there's no choice. It doesn't matter. They can be sitting and with the eyes closed and all that. Yeah, doesn't go anywhere. Well, so there's nothing wrong or right.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one. So how can I suggest something? There's no choice. It is everything. So anything, what happens? Apparently, it's an appearance. So there's no meaning in anything. But that's what sometimes with meditation, it seems like there's some meaning in it, and it goes like getting more silent or things like that, maybe. It doesn't matter. Is it silence or there's talking? I don't see the difference.
And it doesn't help with seeing what you're talking about.
No, no, because it's already. We are so convinced that there's something not right yet, or there's something to do, or it's already complete. It's so amazing that it's so somewhere it's not heard, and not only by you, but it's not heard because that's so stunning that it's already, and there's so much belief that this can't be everything. It's not finished. It's not yet. There's still this going on, or still that going on. So it should be more silent, or there's so many ideas about how it could be, should be, and all that. And then hearing it's already complete. It's like, how is that possible? It's exactly that. Life is already like that. The only misunderstanding is the idea that there's something wrong or there's something not right. That's me. That whole construct is like when there's separation, there seems like, oh, there's something gone wrong. And me, like the whole construct, is trying to make it right again. But it's a whole dream of something which it has no importance at all. It's a misunderstanding about there's something wrong and it could be made right by me or something. It's already complete. It's exactly that face, that clothes, that table, that feeling. It's exactly what it is. There's nowhere to go. That's unconditional. It's unconditional freedom, love already, because there are no conditions. And that we're not used to that because we always have conditions. It's already sitting. The table is not happening to you. There is no one. So there's no my life. There is what is happening.
And and yet, as I'm hearing this message from you, something's changing, right? I'm having a different perspective.
Yeah, because we live in the story. So we're so noticing what was there before and what is now. So there seems to be a change because of something. It's not like that, but there can be in the story that there can be a talking like that because that seems like there's something changing. In the same time, there's nothing changes. There's only that what is, and what is, and what is. And there can be a wall, there can be a feeling, there can be tea. So there's nothing changing in that way. There's only when there's my life, and it seems like before it was like that, and now it's like that. There's no my life. That's crazy. There's nothing before. There's what is happening. It's not happening to you. There's no life of Marie or Rose. That's the dream. We're so like there's This whole day, I'm walking all day. When I'm sitting, and I'm not seeing my toes, but of course they are there. Maybe they're not. So there's no continuation. Yeah, this is really literally. So there's no change. There's no need for change because it's complete. It's not about you. We are so focused and so busy with our life and what's happening in my body and the thoughts and the feelings and circumstances and all that, relations and everything. And then this is completely out of the story. There's no Rose or Marie, or there's nothing happening. So that whole identity, that whole idea, that is completely out of the window. There's nothing left. Oh, it's not about me. How is it? Well, it's no big deal. Well, there was already. So it's only that belief. It's can be very strong, of course, but it's only that belief. It just isn't there anymore. And then, oh, there was already. There's no continuation. No, because when there's like really little children, when they don't see you, you don't exist. They just walk away. It's very literally when there's no feet, then there's this, and that's everything. Yeah. So there's it doesn't go anywhere. It is life. So there's no story. You're living in the story of the world and relations, and then suddenly, oh, and there can be an understanding of that still goes on, but there's no importance or meaning in that more. It's empty, but it still can be an understanding or talking like that. This is already, this is already everything. It's this. It's a hand. It's when there's closing the computer, that's what's happening. There's nothing missing. This isn't going anywhere. It is already. So it's complete as it is, like that tea, half tea, or a sound, or coughing, or the wall, a feeling, street. It's that already. That's alive. It's already alive. It's not happening for someone. It doesn't have any meaning. It's just what is. It's that already. So it's very simple. It's very ordinary. It doesn't go anywhere. It is already alive. It's unconditional love, walling, sitting, tabling. It's that already. So there's nowhere to go. This is it already. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Rose.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you.
Thank you.